So 25 years of working as a physical therapist and athletic trainer with people that no one else could figure out earned me a reputation as the body whisperer and also a vagus nerve expert. And I trained with nationally and internationally renowned experts and collected credentials, kind of like some people collect fine wines. And still there are others I wasn't able to help. And I wondered why. And so I sought more training and more credentials. And then one day I ended up with a health crisis followed by a marriage crisis and a lawsuit crisis, which led to an identity crisis and a crisis of purpose. And a patient walked into my office in the midst of all of that, who had his suicide planned for that evening. And he had been living in a nightmare of a hallucination where people's faces were melting and he couldn't make eye contact with anyone. And if you know anything about physical therapy, it's not the go-to profession for hallucinations. And so I realized in that moment that I needed to bring more than all of the data and skills that I had to the table that day, that I also needed to bring my intuition. And 90 minutes later, he walked out 90% better, and I walked out with my fearless presence. And we saved each other that day. And since then, I've been on a quest to help others find their fearless presence, bringing their intuition and expertise together. And now I help people go from imposter syndrome to fearless presence and stage fright to spotlight. What I came to realize over the course of treating some of the most complicated cases is that what they all had in common is that they were having stage fright in the spotlight of their lives. And that when you could help them not only with the nervous system piece of it and with rewiring the brain, but also with their, connect them really with their presence, like that more esoteric thing that we all identify as presence. And I really came to understand, I've systematized that and have also come to understand that the neuroscience of storytelling and the neuroscience of change are identical. And that's part of why what Cheryl does with the Chair of Joy works just so incredibly beautifully, is because it's helping you tap into your feelings, into the story of your chair. We're all magnificent, magnificent storytellers. And even when it comes to our pain and disease and anxieties and mental health, they are very heavily stories. And our stories drive our physiology, just like our physiology drives our stories. And the thing about our attachment to our stories and our chronic pain and our beliefs is that they all live in our limbic systems, which is where our emotions are. And you cannot logic yourself out of your limbic system. You need a story or an emotional key to get out of there. And when we are unable to move, part of the challenge in connecting with joy is that for all of us, for humans to experience change in the first place, we go through alertness, which is kind of that fight or flight response. We go through awareness, which is a bigger taking in, and starts to be a little bit more intuitive. And then reward and rest are the other two steps, but we can't always get to the reward. We can't always get to the joy. We get stuck in the alertness, and the awareness is better than the alertness, but it doesn't still always get us to the reward. And so when you can really get somebody into the out of that alertness state and into awareness and bring them through the joy so that then they can really rest in it and bask in it, that's really where the magic of all transformation and where the kind of the neuroscience of what Cheryl is doing lands.